right. Dunn punched a paint can, but why? Wasn't he calm and composed? What leads a man to do something like this? Life's already dealt me a fair share of blows, but... I don't know why. Something just doesn't add up. Okay, Jake.
I told you.
Desmond O'Leary.
Huh?
I know you work for him.
Now you're just making stuff up. Why would you say that?
I saw the shamrock in your locker. I know what it means.
Okay, let's say you're right. So what? What are you gonna do, huh?
I'm a detective. What do you think I'll do?
Yeah, definitely better detective than friend. All right, you win, pussycat. Business isn't going that well lately. Natalia was my last well-paying job, and it's been a while. Then O'Leary shows up and offers me a bodyguard contract. What was I supposed to do? I'm pretty sure you would have done the same. Whatever, man. Suit yourself. Hey, O'Leary might run an illegal gambling operation, but it's not like he's killing people or conning widows. And I'm just a bodyguard. I make sure no one gets hurt. What I do, including my contract and paycheck, is 100% legal. How bad can that be?
I don't really care about all that. You know what really worries me?
Don't just stand there. Say something. Not again. Well, I guess there's no point in hiding it now. I was here the day Dunn died.
Go on.
I had to take care of some business for O'Leary. He makes me wear the shamrock when I work for him. As you know, I left the damn thing in my locker.
Say no more. You came in the back door.
How did you... Yeah, that's it. Joe had mentioned he'd been painting that afternoon, but I forgot. I stopped in my tracks when I saw him screaming bloody murder at Bobby Yale at the top of the scaffold.
What exactly was he saying?
Something like, If you do that, I'll call off the fight and make sure you never set foot in this gym again. I didn't want them to see me, so I left.
Jake, why didn't you tell me?
I thought you'd be pissed off.
Well, you were wrong.
I'm sorry, John. I should have said something.
You should have. Let's just say you owe me one, all right?
You sure drive a hard bargain, John. All right.
Time to go. I need to think about everything you just told me. Dunn must have punched the can while he was arguing with Yale. I guess that explains why he threatened to call the fight off. I'm much taller than Dunn, and I can barely reach the noose. There's no way Dunn hanged himself. Not on his own, at least. And there it was, Mary's birthday, a week prior to that very day.
You opened the safe?
Yeah, and I think you need to see this. Can you tell me what it says?
All right. I think this might be useful for the investigation, Mr. Detective. He left everything to me, except some boxing trophies and knickknacks that'll go to Bobby Yale.
All right. Thanks. I know you're hiding something.
What?
Happy birthday. I just found out it was a week ago.
Oh, thanks.
You're welcome. I'm sure you received wonderful presents. For example, your date of birth used as the combination for Dunn's safe.
My goodness. I can't talk here. My shift is over in 10 minutes. Can you wait a while?
Can I get a refill over here, Mary?
Coming right up.
Mary Purnell, the angel Joe Dunn found in his golden years.
We'd been seeing each other for almost 2 years. It all started with, well, weekdays I start cleaning the gym at dawn, before my shift at the diner. Joey always came in early, just a little after I got there. He used to say it was the best time for the worst task of the day.
Oh, I know exactly what he meant.
paperwork. He just hated it. But that was just him. Instead of putting off the things he couldn't stand, he did them as soon as possible. One morning, he saw me crying. I was having a rough day and... He pointed at the coffee machine. You need a cup of joe and some fresh air. That was the first of many cups on the rooftop. One day, we realized those rooftop coffees were the best part of our day. So we began to spend more time together.
But you never told anyone.
He was afraid that our relationship would only make matters worse. Until one day, on the rooftop, we realized just how serious our relationship was. And we decided to turn those moments into a lifetime. He gave me the wedding ring and we decided to tell the world. He said he needed to share that happiness with his little girl. Turns out, he wasn't that happy after all. Maybe you already noticed I have a slight cold. I really should be heading home. I lost my scarf a while back, not sure where. And now, if you'll excuse me, that's my bus stop. A pleasure to speak with you, Mr. Blacksad.
Bobby, yeah. I don't know if you had a motive to kill Dunn, but you certainly had the murder weapon. Christ. Did Yale kill Dunn just because he wanted to call off the fight?
I always knew Bobby had issues. But I never thought he'd go that far. So, as usual, you don't know. In any case, that doesn't change a thing.
It does, actually. Now we know he didn't kill himself.
My father's still dead, and you still haven't found Bobby Yale. Nothing has changed. Opening the safe and finding my father's will won't help us achieve anything. So please hurry. Time's wasting.
Sonia's indifference never ceased to amaze me. How could she be so calm after her father's death?
John Blacksad? I think I owe you an apology. All right, I understand. After all you've been through, you'd prefer not to talk in front of them. I'm so sorry they wrinkled your suit. The thing is, they didn't know we shared a common goal. Bobby Yale. I want to find him and get to the bottom of this as much as you do, Mr. Blacksad. So please, kindly accept my invitation. Why not share our findings? Come on. Hey, I see your suit isn't the only thing my men ruined. Of course. I always play it nice and safe. Thank you, Blacksad. You won't regret this. So let's cut to the chase. I need Bobby Yale to fight Stone. There's just too much money at stake. So, I'm offering you my help to find Yale. Let's work together. Nothing? What? Don't you like me? You're a good detective. And I, well, let's just say I have my own ways of making people talk. What? What? Do my own ways scare you? Please, hear me out. Let's say I bet a beer that we find Yale in 3 days, and you bet a beer that we don't. In 3 days, one of us has to buy the other a beer. Is that so bad? We're simply two grown men using our money and free will to conduct a small private exchange. And most importantly, we're not hurting anyone. So, yeah, I run a gambling business. What's so bad about that? Well, I can. Nothing. But I'll tell you what is wrong. The way our government is ruining America. We live in a so-called free country. A place where honest people can make a living, provided they don't hurt anybody. We're not communists. Well, at least I'm not.
I would have never thought otherwise. As for me,
mind then. In any case, that's not my point. The government betrays our nation's values by passing communist laws that forbid an honest man like me to make a living without hurting a soul. And that, Mr. Blacksad, is just wrong. I'd even say it's unconstitutional. Do you get my point now? I'm sure you do. When the government passes these laws, there's only one legitimate weapon the people can wield. The same weapon that turned America into a great nation. Civil disobedience. So, as the proud American that I am, it's my duty to disobey. Anyway, think what you want. But when you hear just how I've transformed this business, you'll know I'm right. I wasn't always a boss, you know. No, sir. I started at the bottom, when Lucky Blitzen ran the show. That good for nothing. His was a reign of terror, extortion, violence, you know, that sort of unpleasant thing. When I took over, I decided I'd make people want to do my bidding. Not out of fear, but out of gratitude. I decided to help people so they would help me.
That beating your thugs gave me was really helpful. Thank you so much.
Those poor bastards didn't even know you were a detective, that you were on our side.
Maybe at first. But when they tied me up and beat the socks off me, they knew very well who I was.
Seriously? That goes against my rules. Who was it?
It was just Colbert.
That bastard. Don't you worry. I will have a serious talk with him. I cannot tolerate this behavior. Please accept my apologies, Mr. Blacksad. You see, a lot of people work for me. Many families depend on my business. Not only that, St. Christopher's Hospice practically lives on my donations. The widows of my late employees are set for life. Their kids get free schooling. The cops leave me alone because they know my business doesn't hurt anyone. On the contrary. And, it looks like we're here.
Yale's apartment?
I told you. Go ahead. Search the place. I'll wait down here. When you're done, maybe you'll change your mind and share your findings with me. Or not. It's your call, Mr. Blacksad. I'll make sure you're suitably compensated. Colbert! Wilson!
Bobby seems like a nice kid, but I barely know him.
A woman's fragrance. Almost angelical. That means she's been here recently, but why? What does Sweet Mary have to do with Yale, the murder suspect? When I left, I told O'Leary I hadn't found a thing. The minute I was alone, I left for Mary's. But before all that, I took a small parting gift for her. I've never trusted angels.
Mr. Blacksad? What a...
Surprise? When they fall, they turn into demons.
Joey told me he was going to spend the afternoon painting the gym and that Bobby would be fixing something up on the roof. So, after I found the body and called the police, I went to Bobby's place, but he wasn't there. Are you all right?
Yeah, sorry. I was just thinking. And then something odd happened. Or should I say, didn't happen. And it was a first and last in my career. In spite of all the clues and findings, I had nothing to ask my main suspect. It felt like a sign. So I went home, called Sonia Dunn, and quit. And then I erased the word detective from my door. I've never trusted angels.
Mr. Blacksad? What a...
Surprise? When they fall, they turn into demons.
Joey told me he was going to spend the afternoon painting the gym and that Bobby would be fixing something up on the roof. So, after I found the body and called the police, I went to Bobby's place, but he wasn't there.
So you knew that Yale was with Dunn when he died, and yet you told no one.
I guess I just forgot. Everything is so confusing. I'm sorry, Mr. Blacksad.
Don't be. I'm here to figure it all out. Do you realize you might be protecting a murderer?
What? I'm not protecting anybody.
Okay, I think it's time to set things straight.
This is very unsettling, Mr. Blacksad.
I know. I think you and Bobby Yale conspired to kill Dunn.
No! How can you even think of something like that?
How can you convince me otherwise? I found a picture at Yale's apartment. It's you and him on a roller coaster. Care to explain, Miss Purnell?
I'm not white, Mr. Blacksad.
What?
7 of my great-grandparents were white. The 8th was black. According to law, I'm a black citizen, even if my skin says the contrary. Do you know what that means when you're born in North Arlington, Alabama? Segregated schools, bathrooms, housing and healthcare, and colored people get the worst share. We even have different water fountains, for God's sake. The separate but equal doctrine and all that. And all the lies. That's why I moved here. No one knows what color my great-grandparents were. He's my nephew, Mr. Blacksad. Joe and I first started taking care of poor Bobby when my sister died. That was when he was almost 15. The 3 of us went on that trip to Luna Park.
So this is where Joe Dunn comes in.
Bobby was the only one who knew about me and Joey. We were afraid that someone would use my past to ruin his career.
It's not the first time I hear that story. Fresh out of the oven. The whole room smells like pie. Are you sure you don't know where your nephew is?
I've looked everywhere. He's nowhere to be found.
Don't worry. I'll find him.
Thank you.
Mary smells like... Actually, the whole room smells like a pie fresh out of the oven, so I can't identify any other fragrances. That cherry pie smells so good. I'm starting to get hungry.
Thanks. I pulled it out of the oven right before you arrived. Oh, where are my manners? I'm the worst hostess in the world. Let me go get a knife from the kitchen. And you must be thirsty. Let me see. OJ? Coffee? I'm sure you'll love my coffee.
That's some beautiful artwork you got there. Now that there's almost no pie left, the scent has also disappeared. Interesting. Now Mary smells like a huge dog. Mary, when are you gonna stop lying? I know your nephew is here. I can smell him.
What? No. I already told you I don't know where he is. You can search the whole house if you want. Go ahead. He's not here.
Wait a minute. She's not the one who smells like that. That's where Bobby Yale's scent is coming from. So, that's why you were sitting there.
What? I don't know what you're talking about.
Yes, you do. Could you step aside so I can check, please?
Please go.
Mary, for Christ's sake, put that knife down, would you?
Livora. I mean it.
I don't want to hurt you.
No. I mean it.
I don't want to hurt you.
Bobby.
ambulance. Do as I say. Go on, call an ambulance. Do it now. In the face of a heart attack, there's two things you can't forget. 1, stay calm. 2, 1 chest compression per second. 1 Mississippi. 2 Mississippi. 3 Mississippi. 4 Mississippi. 5 Mississippi.
Bobby. Oh, Bobby. Thank you, Bobby. Bobby. Thank you.
I had lots of reasons to consider this a great day. I had investigated a suicide case. I had discovered that, in truth, we were dealing with a murder. I had found and captured the prime suspect. And I had saved a life. And yet, everything in me screamed that something was going wrong. Terribly wrong.
Promise me you won't take the law into your own hands. I'd like to think we're not just vigilantes.
I want a gun!
What the hell?
Bang, bang, bang!
A fair amount of violence, extortion, and casualty.
I hate detectives.
Bang, bang, bang!
You're dead meat, cat.
That you, Smirnoff?
You seem agitated. Nightmare? Anyway, why don't you go home? In his current condition, Yale's not going anywhere. Besides, we'll take it from here. As for what happened yesterday, I asked you not to get involved, or at least give me a heads up. Anyway, what's done is done. When When exactly did you realize that he killed Dunn? Out of sheer curiosity. I'm a cop after all. It's all right. Like I said, I was just curious. How about the motive? Any ideas? I get it. In any case, hopefully Yale will tell us more.
Would you let me ask him some questions when he wakes up?
I know you will, with or without my permission, so I'd rather not feel betrayed. In exchange, drop by the station when you can. Your investigation could really help my men. Who, by the way, must be waiting for me to interrogate Mary Purnell. Boy, she was hard to pry from Yale's side. And as for you, go get some rest. God knows you need it. Tell the nurses to look at that face of yours. You look like a film detective in his last scene.
I'm afraid this film isn't over yet.
For your sake, I hope you're wrong. You're in charge now, officer.
Okay.
I'll send you relief in 6 hours. Understood?
Doctor,
Who are?
Oh, detective. Congratulations. You fared pretty well against that kid. Better than most would have. Now, if you'll excuse me.
we, as a society, simply don't trust reptiles. But that's not the real problem. The real problem is our extended belief that there's logic to that distrust, that it's natural and well-founded. How's Yale? Is he awake?
Oh, yeah. Go check on him before he falls asleep again. Although, try not to bother him with too many questions.
Will he be ready to fight in 2 weeks?
It's too soon to tell. He did have a heart attack after all.
Go away. I don't want to see you. The doctor told me to sleep.
I rarely get to interrogate a suspect with his guard down in a place as quiet as this. Getting the chance to study his body language with no distractions is a rare gift. He's clenching his fist, a sign of contained anger. He's looking straight at me. If he couldn't hold my stare, I'd think he's lying, but that's not the case. His heart rate is increasing. It could mean that he's lying, but it could also just be pure, unadulterated rage. Clenched fist, fast heart rate, fixed stare. He feels some genuine rage towards me. I'm sorry you don't want to see me, but Come on. What difference does it make?
Luckily, I just got my medication. I'll be snoozing soon.
All right, I'll just cut to the chase. Who killed Joe Dunn?
What? Are you trying to confuse me? Joe hanged himself.
I know Dunn threatened to call off the fight. Why?
How do you know that?
I'm a detective.
That was his anger talking. He never really meant it.
That doesn't matter. Why was he so mad at you? What did you do?
Nothing. Joe thought that I wasn't training hard enough. That I was going to lose.
Dunn was too short to hang himself with that rope.
So, it's true? He was murdered.
All right. Let's just say that I believe you. The murderer killed Dunn with a chest expander and planted evidence to make us believe it was suicide. But he also left enough clues behind to make sure we found the true murder weapon. Then he put the chest expander box in your locker to frame you. Do you know anyone that twisted and who also happens to have a motive?
I don't know.
What about Frank Cassidy? Do you think he has a motive?
Maybe. A few weeks ago, Joe took me to a boxing managers association meeting.
Headed by Cassidy.
Yeah. He was obsessed with making it illegal for boxers to fight without a manager, or without an associated manager. Everyone seemed to go along with it until Joe spoke up. He said that would lower us to mob status. That Cassidy had founded the association just to make money by monopolizing the sport. That made others think twice. And Cassidy ended up empty-handed.
Poor Cassidy. Desmond O'Leary certainly seems twisted enough. Did he have anything against Dunn?
I'm not sure if they knew each other. At least not in person. About a month ago, Joe kicked one of O'Leary's men out of the gym. He was trying to give a business card to...
Jake Ostiami.
Yeah, exactly. Did Jake tell you about that?
Something like that. What about Sonia Dunn?
Sonia? I doubt it. She's odd, but she's his daughter.
I've seen worse, believe me.
Blacksad. I think I owe you an, You know, my father disappeared when I was 6, right after winning a fight. We never heard from him again. Do you know what that does to a kid? Who knows where I'd be if Joe Dunn hadn't been in my life. Even when I lost my way and put a gun to his head years later, he still took me under his wing and managed to steer me in the right direction. And now that he's gone, you're risking your life to find his murderer. Thanks.
It's about... Is that eye movement normal? The hands say a lot about what's going on inside a person. He seems restless. Should I tell someone?
See? There's no fever whatsoever. He must be having a nightmare.
Are you sure?
Wouldn't you have nightmares too after what he went through yesterday? I know I sure wouldn't sleep. Oh, the poor thing. Do you know what my nightmare is? It's that witch I have to work with. Oh. Good thing she's got trauma surgery at 12:30, but I wish it were a little sooner, you know? Anyway, thank you for letting me know, and for bringing him in. You don't know how excited I am to be involved in a criminal case.
It might not be important, but I need to take a look at his medical report. Hi.
You're awake, handsome?
No, the footprints don't match. If Yale killed Dunn, he did it without stepping in the paint, or in different shoes. It seems like the Doe nurse will be assisting Dr. Talbot during his 12:30 surgery. In 4 hours. Could I get them to operate any sooner?
Trauma? Sherry speaking.
Get Dr. Gregor Talbot, please.
Yes, 1 minute. No, actually, Dr. Talbot won't be in until 12:30 according to my registry. Can I ask who's calling, please?
Sherry, this is Dr. Talbot. We have to reschedule the 12:30 procedure. I want everyone in the operating room in 5 minutes. If anyone gives you any grief, tell them it's a matter of life or death. Understood?
A matter of life and death. A matter of life and death. You gotta be kidding me.
All right, now. How do I put this? I need something that you have.
Oh, only if you guess why I'm giving it to you.
You want to help me solve a criminal investigation.
Well, aren't you smart? But be quick about it. You hear me, huh? If that witch comes back.
What does it say here?
Ah, you know doctors. The top handwriting is mine. Let's see. Extrasystole and dehydration caused by panic attack.
Extra what?
You know, arrhythmia, like skipped heartbeats.
What about this here?
It's a good thing I know that Mr. Yale is in Dr. Ferguson's hands. Otherwise, I'd be worried.
Hey, no means no, miss.
You really don't know who I am, do you?
Miss, I've got orders. And the fact is, those orders say that...
Here you are, Miss Dunn.
Huh?
Tell him, Blacksad. I can't get through that thick skull of his.
You see, Highfill,
I'm the owner of Yale's gym.
A woman?
It's up to me to make sure Yale recovers in time for an important fight.
Between you and me, and all due respect, miss, but aren't we taking this woman's liberation a little too far? All right, let her in, but she's your responsibility.
Thank you for getting me in. Wouldn't expect less of you.
you managed pretty well on your own, don't you think?
I usually do. Anyway, you did your job. I'll send you a check the day after the fight. You can leave now.
Huh, no. She's gonna do something stupid. Sonia, don't.
He killed my father. You said so yourself.
No, I said nothing of the sort.
He almost killed you in that floozy's apartment. How could he not be guilty?
Your father wouldn't want you to do this. He was a just man, and this is not justice.
Shut up. None of that matters. How could he not be guilty?
Your father sacrificed everything to pay your way through college. If you do this, you'll destroy the future your father wanted you to have. Shh. It's okay.
Uncle Tim!
Sweetie, I came back from Los Angeles as soon as I could.
I told you not to rush back.
Come on now, honey. Aren't you going to introduce me to your friend?
No, this is John Blacksad, the detective who found Bobby.
Oh, so this is strictly professional. I thought you had some good news for your uncle.
No, Uncle Tim, don't be silly.
Come on, we'd better let him rest. I see. Let's say you're right and Bobby Yale is innocent. Who should we focus on now?
We?
Well, your father turned down my money, but he made me promise one thing, that I'd take care of you if anything happened to him.
But I can...
I know you're perfectly capable of managing that gym on your own, but we don't even know if he'll be ready to fight Stone. Besides, someone seems really invested in stopping that fight, and someone has to pay Mr. Blacksad to get to the bottom of all this. Please, talk some sense into her.
It's your life. As much as you love your uncle, it's up to you to decide whether you want his help or not.
Blacksad, I was just starting to like you.
All right. Thank you, Uncle. Thank you so much.
All right, stop crying or you'll ruin your makeup, honey. Now fix yourself up and I'll buy you some breakfast.
Wait, my purse.
I'll get it. It must be...
Blacksad, wait a minute. I think she needs some time alone, just like you and me. Listen, boy, do whatever it takes to find Joe's murder. Whatever it takes. If things get messy, don't worry. I'll clean them up. Deal?
I'm not a vigilante.
Well, suit yourself. Just get that ball to the end zone.
No. Are you telling stories about the great iron arm again?
Wait a minute. Of course. The Milestones quarterback. Tim Iron Arm Thorpe.
It's a good thing folks usually recognize me sooner. Blacksad, you coming to breakfast?
I'd love to, but I have to go ask for a favor. Jake wasn't at home or at his usual bar. But on the third try, I found it. Huh. That lizard isn't Yale's doctor. Hey, Jake.
Not now, John. All right, that's enough. Take 5. Go on. What, John? What's so important?
Could you tell me where O'Leary's headquarters are?
What for? No. You could get me into trouble. No way.
If we weren't friends, I'd tell Sonia you work for O'Leary. Although, if we were friends, you wouldn't hesitate to help me. Tell me, Jake, are we friends or not?
Damned cat. All right. O'Leary's hideout is in the basement of a Chinese restaurant. But I don't even know how to get in.
Well, I'll see you tonight. See you there.
Ronald, the break's over.
After 30 hours of work and several beatings, every bone in my body ached for a bed.
Now it's my turn.
So I went home to recharge. Because the night ahead was bound to be promising. What do you know about that basement?
Well, let me think. Nothing?
Come on, Jake, for Christ's sake. Strain that little boxer brain. You must know something.
I've come to get O'Leary several times, but they always make me wait in the dining room. One day it was so late that the restaurant was closed. They made me call from a payphone in that alley over there to let them know I was here. A few minutes later, O'Leary came out the back door, that red one there.
All right. You stay by the payphone. Wait till I'm inside. If you see anyone, call the same number you did that one time. Let it ring twice and hang up. Got it?
Screw you.
A promising night indeed. I'm guessing it lights up when you ring at the main door.
Stupid rabbit.
Does he need a shotgun to deal with suppliers?
Stupid cat.
Would he even notice if I got in? Something tells me he'd notice me no matter how stealthy I was.
Stupid coyote. Stupid coyote.
Maybe it leads to the basement.
Stupid coyote.
What happened? Should we run for it?
Do I look like I'm in a hurry? I need you to go to the front door and ring the bell.
All right, is there a bar in that alley? Have you been drinking?
Count to 30, ring the bell, then run for the car. Got it?
Whoa, you bet. Better send a bunch of Natalias my way after this. So, now what are you gonna do?
I'll open the door with my lockpicks. Once I'm in, I'm still not sure if I'll take the hall or the door on the right. The lock on that door was not your standard model. I had to give it my all. Are they carpeting the floors? Why do they have so many paper notes? Do they get that many orders? I was expecting some frozen bodies. It won't budge. The odds are incredibly in Stone's favor. I guess that he's the reigning champion, and Bobby Yale is just a contender, but maybe word got out about his condition. Does O'Leary have a network of pals? Huh. Looks like those colorful notes weren't restaurant orders after all. There's one on each table, except this one. Wow. I didn't realize you could place so many bets on a single baseball game. It looks like a summary of all the bets that come in. Day, amount, bet, wagerer. Wait a minute. Did O'Leary himself bet $5 grand on Yale? Limited edition copy 2 of 3. We listen, if you call it listening, to the sentimental romance. Your eyes act like the moon. If they're not together anymore, why does O'Leary keep so many pictures of romantic moments with Helen Moore? Even Dunn had a gun in his office. O'Leary couldn't possibly be the exception. Dunn had $200 in his safe. O'Leary had about $20,000 in a drawer. A Crossler? The good news is, I don't need lockpicks to open it. The bad news, I didn't bring explosives. The painting concealed file after file of celebrity reports with all sorts of shady information, ranging from S to Z. Almost all of them were athletes. Is that what O'Leary meant when he said that detectives and police officers were his friends? I wonder how many spy for him. If I were to pitch in, who would I spy on? In Bobby Yale's folder, all I found was a log of his incredible stats as an aspiring champion. 20 victories, 16 by knockout. Although, at the end of the report, someone had underlined one word several times: untouchable. According to Stone's report, he was so clean, not to mention hard to corrupt, that O'Leary opted for a more subtle strategy. Apparently, when he broke up with the tennis player Helen Moore, he set her up with Stone. Lucky for him, they hit it off. As I put away the report, I stopped in my tracks. Did I really want to risk knowing what O'Leary had on my good friend, the incorruptible police commissioner? I sighed in relief. O'Leary had tried to buy Smirnoff on several occasions, but failed. Luckily, O'Leary had nothing on him, or me. Thorpe had been a rising football star before the war, which he came back from with honors and decorations. After the truce, he resumed his career. He won 3 season trophies and a couple of MVP awards. He retired after an accident that left him paralyzed from the waist down. He started his own sports advertising agency 4 years ago, but according to the files, O'Leary hadn't even tried to corrupt him. Helen Moore's file was, by far, one of the juiciest. She had been just a run-of-the-mill tennis player until O'Leary launched her career by rigging enough games to help her climb the ranking. However, O'Leary hadn't fixed any of her games in over a year. In spite of that, she remained undefeated. Be as it may, it was clear that O'Leary had enough information to ruin her career. Strange as it may seem, the reports revealed that O'Leary had hired Jake as a bodyguard precisely because he was absolutely clean. Apparently, he liked to surround himself with honest people when he mingled with the high society. The report on Yale's father was the shortest of all, since only his name was left. Why? Cassidy's report was possibly the longest among all of O'Leary's files. Apparently, the rivalry went way back, so much so that they spied on each other in the most unthinkable ways. At least I was able to confirm what Yale had told me. Cassidy had threatened Dunn after he refused to join the managers' union. Dunn's integrity was legendary, even in O'Leary's shady reports, just like Yale had said. Dunn had kicked one of O'Leary's men out of the gym when he found him snooping around. I'd say O'Leary has threatened Stone with ruining Moore's career. Jake. Someone was coming.
Are we or are we not exemplary workers, Jimmy? Here it is, middle of the night. And we're working extra hours. Hey, Jimmy, what do you think about that?
I think he's scared stiff, Desmond.
Why's that, Jimmy? We're giving you the red carpet treatment. We even let you in the boss's office.
You're one lucky fellow.
You can't say I don't treat you well, Jimmy. Yeah.
Speak, you moron.
Yeah, very well. Why are you... Shh. Calm down. How long have you worked for me, Jimmy? 3 months. 3 months. Oh, yeah. I hired you right after your cousin Martin died. I need your opinion. How would you punish someone for ruining an innocent man's life with a hit and run, Jimmy? I don't know. Then tell me, what about you, Wilson? What would you do? No, please. I didn't do anything. I swear. He was a good guy. Of course, you already knew that. You knew him better than me, right? He was my cousin. That's why I hired you, Jimmy. You see, Martin was a dear friend. And his widow said you were a nice kid. That you do a good job. And you needed the money. And I have a soft spot for those in need. Please. But, you know what? I talked to her just yesterday. She told us you did some naughty things to her with that gun, Jimmy. No. That's no way to treat a widow, is it? She's lying. Why would I do that? What about the kid? Are you so sure you know how long a kid can hold his breath? With his little head inside a toilet bowl?
Son of a bitch.
I didn't want to. It was his idea. Who's your boss? Give me a name. Cassidy. It was his idea. He said you'd hired me if I'd managed to scare the widow, and I just... All right. Let's just... calm down now. It's gonna be okay. There are 2 sacred principles that rule my life. The first principle is the love for my family. I do anything to protect them. The second principle, I never put my future in the hands of fate. I always play it nice and safe. And I would even add a third principle, or better yet, a rule. If anything threatens either of these 2 crucial principles, I take matters into my own hands. You see where this is going? For the first time, I got someone killed, even though all I really did was rat him out. No, I just... Stop interrupting me, Jimmy! It's not polite! You're all the same. So rude. You know what? Let's leave it at that. You're going to give a message to that disgusting walrus Cassidy, aren't you? Yeah, sure. Whatever you say. Sure. Good boy. What's the message? Oh, Jimmy. You still don't get it, do you? You are the message. Come on. Wrap him up. Make sure Cassidy gets the message for breakfast, will you? I hope he chugs on it.
Got it.
Where are you hiding, little fishy? Once again, you didn't get to hear the end of my story. Just where do you think you're going, putty cat? Two sacred principles rule my life. The first is the love I feel for my family. The second, never leave destiny in the hands of fate. I always play it nice and safe. And I'd even add a third principle, or better yet, a rule. If anything threatens either of these two principles, I take matters into my own hands. The first time that someone died because of me, even though all I did was rat him out, well, that guy ended up in the Hudson River, right off Pier 27. He's got to be even wetter than that fish by now. You should have seen his face.
It's interesting what comes to mind when you think you're about to die. Suddenly all I could think about was how much I wanted a pet fish.
Anyway, I was 14 and I still dream about it. But it's real and inside.
By then, I was adamant about buying a fish. But first...
That was that. Never again.
Nowadays, whether it's me who pulls the trigger or not, I have zero regrets. What's more, I sort of enjoy it.
In case anyone had any doubts about who's the boss around here, I'll put my dirty feet on his luxurious table to prove that all of this is mine. When a mob boss declares his love of family, it can only mean that A, he won't hesitate to ruin yours, and B, he's cheating on his wife. The guy never hesitates to pull the trigger. Even if I hadn't seen what he did to Jimmy, I'd know he's not bluffing. His pupils are dilated, and there's a slight grin on his face. The bastard is enjoying himself. I knew I had it in me to get out of that place alive. No. O'Leary's wife is having an affair with Colbert? Should I serve this to O'Leary on a silver platter? Or threaten Colbert so he'll get me out of this mess?
And, well, that's it, I think. You know, Blacksad, I never made it this far. Congratulations, you're going in style.
I didn't want to interrupt you because I respect you and your word, but I'm actually here to help. Your wife is having an affair with Colbert.
What? Me? No way! Well, here's the thing. I don't respect your word. And since you brought me no proof...
Check my coat pocket, on the right.
Oh, Blacksad, Blacksad, Blacksad. Oops. Thank you very much. And sorry for jumping to conclusions. First, you get a random beating from Colbert. And here we are. When you shared what you'd found in Yale's apartment, well, it made me sort of want to trust you. But as you well know, you can't trust anyone in this world. Take it. It's only fair.
Thanks. I'll make good use of it.
A word of advice. Make bad use of it. It's more fun. Oh, Blacksad. Aren't these odd hours to pay me a visit? Your message was important, but certainly not urgent. It could have waited until tomorrow, don't you think?
We cats and wolves hunt at night. I wish I was a noir fiction writer. At this very moment, I could write a couple of pointed, ironic remarks for the narrator to recount what I just lived through. The dark, crooked alleys of New York reminded me of the state of my own soul. No. Fall loomed over me with the... Fall struck me with the full force of my long-lost youth. Nah, not that. Fall descended over me with the full weight of a guilty conscience. God, that's worse.
What were you thinking? He wants him alive.
I felt fall seep through my bones like the pain of a good beating. Mediocre, but appropriate. Against all odds, next morning I got up bright-eyed and bushy-tailed. And I had my kind, unknown assailants to thank. The beating had taken its toll, but for the first time in months, I had slept like a baby.
Oh, come on, Helen, focus! All right, take 5. We'll work on that double backhand later.
Well, Mr. Blackmore, what can I do for the FBI?
We'd appreciate it if you stopped breaking the law.
I see you like to cut to the chase. Are you going to handcuff me, or can I ask you what I'm being accused of?
Maybe if we could speak in private?
Alec!
Coming!
You've got 4 minutes, Mr. Blackmore, so... make them count.
We're aware of at least 6 rigged games during your first year as a professional player.
And?
You won all of them.
Are you trying to offend me? I give my all on the court. I can't be held accountable if my rivals don't do the same. Go interrogate them.
We know about you and Desmond O'Leary.
Wow. The FBI sure knows what it's doing. So, out of the 100 million Americans who know about that, who did you extort to get such highly confidential information?
The thing is, well...
You see, I'd love to wipe out that part of my past, but whatever.
Do you have any regrets?
Ads pay more than trophies. Can you believe it? Being associated with such a shady character could only damage my reputation. Trust me, never get involved with a married man. Anyway, at least now I know why you mentioned the rigged games. I can't blame you, Mr. Blackmore. I understand why I seem suspect.
They say you're currently involved with Al Stone, the boxer. Is that correct?
Wow, your sagacity never ceases to amaze me.
Don't beat around the bush. We know why you're with him.
Oh, so you like his biceps too?
Desmond O'Leary asked you to seduce Stone. Why?
What? No, I met Al by chance at a party. A party hosted by Desmond O'Leary. No, that can't be. No one is that shrewd. Not even him. Damn, I hate that bastard. Anyway, now I get why you brought up the rigged games and your obsession with O'Leary. What do you really have against him? And don't say illegal gambling.
O'Leary is a murderer. Every criminal organization has blood on its hands. His is no exception. And we have proof. I'm serious, Miss Moore. America can't afford to let anyone shake its foundations like that. And America's sweetheart can't afford it either. Help us out. Talk to us.
And why should I, Mr. Blackmore? What do I stand to gain or lose?
Our country faces drastic problems that require drastic solutions. Do you want to be part of the problem or part of the solution?
This is actually quite simple.
One lucky gal.
You have a light, sir?
The pearly white teeth of someone who barely smokes. Am I making her nervous? Damn. I'm almost out of fluid.
Wanna know my trick? Go down to start, then up with it, and then down again. Thanks. I don't know what you want me to say. You're trying to frame O'Leary, perhaps rightfully so, but I think you're barking up the wrong tree. Believe me, if I had the slightest...
Come on, Helen. Time to work on your backhand. Let's go.
Do you smoke? Nice meeting you, Mr. Blackmore. Did you bring my water?
America's sweetheart gave you her cigarette? Dear God, she has the hots for you! I can't believe you said good old Weekly to investigate that stupid walrus while you were hanging out with Helen Moore herself! So, what do you say, you and me, we change places next time, huh?
Your turn. Now tell me, what did you find out?
Ah, you're gonna love this. You ready? I've got news, but I happen to also have a
Blacksad.
My husband has disappeared.
What? Who is... Oh, Mrs. Colbert.
But last night he got a phone call. He said he had to work, and he still hasn't come back. Nobody's seen him at work since yesterday evening. Plus, I haven't heard from you since our first conversation. Do you have anything?
I'm sorry, Mrs. Colbert. I'm not on the case anymore. You'll have to figure this one out on your own.
But what just happened? Is there anything you didn't tell me?
Maybe. But now it's your turn. Tell me about Cassidy. Come on, spit it out.
I didn't find anything suggesting that Cassidy had anything to do with Dunn's murder, but...
That's quite the tale.
But I know Cassidy will be playing poker tonight with one Howard M. Farnham II, a Texas tycoon looking to get his claws on the boxing business. I also know that he and Cassidy have never met in person, and that Farnham, who's staying at the Balford Hotel, hasn't left his room. Apparently, he spent the night with 3 bottles of bourbon. So, here's my incredible plan. I'll go to the hotel, I'd knock him out, and then take his place in the poker game. That way, I'll get Cassidy talking. What do you think? Incredible, right?
Didn't we agree that you would handle Helen Moore while I dealt with Cassidy next time? No?